everybody. I want to welcome you to this week's Deeper Dive. We're starting a brand new series. The series is called The Good Life. And it's all about the great, incredible, awesome life that God is calling you to have. Jesus shows up and starts talking about this kingdom of heaven that's got all of this great stuff about it. But people, their lives probably are not good. I mean, they're not in a good life scenario when Jesus shows up. So when Jesus shows up and says, hey, I've got this great life for you, they're like, I want that. And then Jesus starts looking at the very people that kind of subjugate them, lord over them, the Pharisees and the scribes. They're the people who are the best at the law. Jesus shows up and says, they've got it wrong. This is going to be blowing the minds of just normal people. If the scribes and Pharisees have it wrong and all the normal people can get in and be a part of this kingdom and have the good life, then let the good times roll. Oh, people are excited. Explain it to us, Jesus. Jesus starts to explain it. Did you know that there are actually 613 laws in the Old Testament? This is a gift. It's an old Bible. It's an old family Bible from a friend of mine, and it's a beautiful work of art. It's a beautiful Bible. But when I see this Bible, I'm reminded of the weight. I mean, can you imagine carrying this thing around all the time in your book bag? I mean, you'd have to go see a chiropractor. And can you just imagine the weight of 1,613 laws that you have to obey? Well, as we look at the good life, you're going to understand there's 6 things that Jesus talked about, the good life that follow after our core verse. Matthew chapter 5, verse 20. Jesus says, you've got to be better at the law than the scribes and Pharisees. That's what they did full time. Those guys were not doing a good job. Jesus looks at murder, adultery, oaths, divorce, vengeance, and love, and gives a deeper meaning that goes straight to the heart. When I was in Jerusalem last, and you see some of the Jews that are just devout to the 613 laws, they're like radical about it, and they've kind of made up ceremonies because their version of God's holiness is something they can attain. You know, and there's all kinds of things that they do that they're derived from some things in the Old Testament, but they're not actual commands. And they're saying, because we can't be holy the way Jesus was talking about, the way God truly intends, the will of God, the way God wants us to be holy, we'll just make up ceremonies. We'll make up our own version of what we need to do to be holy. And they're just rituals. And Jesus is calling us to something so much deeper than that in the good life. So dive into this week's Deeper Dive by reading what Christ has to say about having greater righteousness than the scribes and Pharisees. This is going to be a really great series, and it starts this week. Don't miss your chance to dive